Working on the river was probably the biggest challenge out of any sequence in the film, because when it's a very long sequence, it's a very long river, and we had to work really hard to make sure that what we saw in animation both translated to the other departments and also lined up back and forth. So making sure that our boat was staying on the surface or controlling the right speed, making it seem believable while also being an impossible floating river, things like that. But the river was definitely the biggest challenge in the film, I'd say. When we look at the comic books, a few things stuck out to us right away. One of them is that their eyeballs overlap, which is not normal in any CG features that I've made. So that was a new challenge. We had to figure out how to do that. Another one, which sounds kind of simple but was a bit of a challenge, is that Peo would draw the eyebrows going up over the hat sometimes. So we had to figure out a system for that. The third thing is when he would draw the mouth getting really big, it would be inside of the same size head shape that a small mouth would be. So we had to figure out how to make the mouth grow without actually making the head bigger and opening up the jaw as much. In the Forbidden Forest, they encounter the Smurf eating plants, the boxing plant, kissing plant, eyeball plant. And those are a lot of fun for us in animation because it's not a typical character design, and so they come with new challenges for how to set up the rig and how to make them move. And these plants, Kelly had us explore ideas where they kind of moved and acted kind of like mouths. So they need to go from looking like a regular plant with petals to opening their, having like a jaw and then closing, chewing up the Smurf and spitting them out unharmed. And then also there's the kind of tendrils on the inside of the mouth that are sort of like a tongue. And so it was an interesting challenge. We had a lot of flexibility as far as how to make them behave like mouths, but it was pretty tough actually. The dragonflies were a challenge. There are some scenes that have hundreds and hundreds of them, so we had to work on some new tools to be able to have that many all together at once in the scene file of the computer. Their designs and their motion was a lot of fun too. They kind of move somewhere between an actual dragonfly, which is very quick and staccato, and somewhere between that and a dragon, which is more usually slow and flowing and elegant. So we kind of went back and forth between those two kind of personality types for the dragonflies. Each new Smurf in the Lost Village has their own style of motion that corresponds to their personality type. And Kelly was very particular about making sure that we had each one move their own distinct way, so that way you could tell who it is even if they didn't have any physical markings.